Taeguk refers to the source of everything in the universe, and the universal law in which everything continuously goes through cycles of creation and destruction. Pumse Taeguk symbolizes the root principle of universal philosophy and is constructed by applying the truth inherent in Taeguk's yin and yang principles. Taeguk Chiljang stands for Gan and symbolizes a mountain that embodies the meaning of mass and firmness. We will now take a look at the Pumse of Chiljang. Taeguk Chiljang consists of 13 key moves, namely 손날 고들어 아래맞기, 고들어 바탕손 안맞기, 보주먹, 가위맞기, 무릎치기, 헤쳐맞기, 두 주먹 젖혀지르기, 엇걸어 아래맞기, 등주먹 바깥치기, 표척차기, 옆지르기, 범서기, and 주춤서기. These are the 13 key moves of Taeguk Chiljang. We will now take a closer look at each of the key moves of Taeguk Chiljang. 손날 아래맞기 is a technique used to block, defend the lower body with your arms and with the help from an assisting hand. The blocking hand is placed over the knee, forward, about 2 fist length apart. The assisting hand is raised to the same level as the elbow of the arm blocking the lower body. The wrist of the assisting arm is placed where it crosses the center line. The space between the outer wrist and torso should be about 1 hand blade apart. The elbow should be naturally close to the torso. Be careful not to let your blocking hand move outside the line connecting your leg and body. The assisting armpit should not detach from your body, making the elbow rise up. 고들어 바탕손 안맞기 is also a blocking technique. When initiating this move, straighten the assisting arm slightly at the solar plexus level. Start your blocking hand 1 hand's length above your shoulder and block inwards. Place the palm of your hand on the blocking arm in front of the solar plexus. The back of the assisting hand should point upward and assist by letting the elbow of the blocking arm lightly rest on it. Block by pulling the elbow of the blocking arm towards the body and pull your assisting arm. 보주먹 is a move to envelop the right closed fist with the left hand. The 4 fingers of your left hand wrap around the 4 fingers of your right fist. The left thumb wraps around the right thumb. The space between your fists should be a sheet of paper's width. The assisting fist starts in front of the lower abdomen and is raised to the front of the philtrum, passing the front of the chest. The internal angle of your arm should be between 90 degrees and 120 degrees. Kawimaki is a maki move that performs anpalmok bakatmaki and aremaki at the same time. It starts with both arms crossed in front of the chest. The wrist of the arm performing anpalmok bakatmaki should be placed at the solar plexus level, and your fist must not rise above your shoulder. The fist that performed aremaki should maintain its position 2 raised fists above the knee. Murupchigi is a technique used to kick upwards with the knee by folding the leg. Kick upwards with your knee folded as much as possible. Hechomaki is a technique used to block inside out simultaneously by crossing your wrists in front of your chest. Your fists must be in front of your shoulders when blocking. Your elbows should point downward, and your 2 armpits should softly touch your torso. Dujumok Chochojirugi is a technique used to bend back and thrust by pointing the back of your hand downward. Your 2 fists start at the back, with the backs of your hands facing upward, and thrust downward after bending back. The key targets are Jungwang and Hyeopbok pressure points. When thrusting, keep your arms in, touching the torso, and place your elbows close to your torso. Chochojirugi should be performed by thrusting upward slightly from below. When performing this move, the elbow should not move away from the body too much. Your fists must not open outward. Be careful not to let your fists rise above the elbow level or thrust downward. Otkoro aremaki is a technique used to block in front of the lower abdomen by making a diagonal loop with the 2 wrists. For wen apgubi, start with your right arm back and cross your right arm upwards. For oren apgubi, start with your left arm back and cross your left arm upwards. Both elbows should be touching your torso. Dungjumok Bakatchigi starts with the first of the opposite shoulder. The assisting arm should cross below the thrusting arm to initiate the preparatory move. Then, strike a target with the back of your fist using the torque of your torso. Your fist should align with your shoulder line, and your elbow should be naturally straight. Pyojokchagi is a technique used to create a target with the palm of your hand. Kick outside in using the foot blade. Be careful not to kick with the sole of your foot. Yopjurugi is a technique used to thrust sideways while standing sideways like Juchunsogi. The flow of force progress transferred from the ground is pushed up to the fist through the elbow. Bomsogi posture is achieved by shifting your weight on your hind leg and standing low after setting your front foot forward about a foot length from the tip of the big toe to your hind foot. Raise your heel so only the ball of the front foot touches the ground. And support your weight with your hind leg so that your weight is distributed equally on both your hind and front leg 9-1. Slowly tighten legs inward and stand with your knees tilted forward. Be careful not to let your upper body move too much forward or backward. The last of the 13 key movements is Juchunsogi. Juchunsogi posture is achieved by keeping the tops of your feet parallel about 2 feet length apart, standing low. These are the 13 key moves of Taeguk Chiljang. We will now look at the moves in succession, connecting each move. The key moves of Taeguk Chiljang first part consist of 오른 바탕손 안맞기, 오른 앞차기, and 왼 안맞기, 왼 바탕손 안맞기, 왼 앞차기, and 오른 안맞기, 왼 손날 고드로 아래맞기, and 오른 손날 고드로 아래맞기. Shift your weight to your right foot from 준비 자세. Turn left using the right ball of your foot and assume the bomsogi posture. Start the preparatory move for anmaki while bending your knee using the momentum from apchagi, and complete the momtong maki, move the moment your heel touches the ground, followed by the ball of the forward kicking foot. Shift your weight to your front leg and at the same time spin your torso clockwise using the left ball of your foot as an axis to perform the preparatory moves for patangson anmaki. Then spin and set your foot in line with the direction of progression and complete patangson anmaki. Shift your weight to your hind leg. Perform wen 뒷굽이 by spinning your torso using the left ball of your foot and setting your right foot. Cautions for Taeguk Chiljang. First part, taking a closer look. When spinning 180 degrees and setting your foot from wen bomsogi to oren bomsogi, be careful not to overdo the switch to your right foot with your left foot fixed. When performing diki and doradiki, it is important to understand the coordination between moving the center of the body and spinning with the torso. We will now practice the moves of Taeguk Chiljang, first part, in succession with watching the video. The key moves of Taeguk Chiljang, second part, consist of 오른 고드로 바탕손 안맞기, 오른 고드로 등중목 앞치기, 왼 고드로 바탕손 안맞기, 왼 고드로 등중목 앞치기, and 보주목. After 고드로 바탕손 안맞기, perform the preparatory move as if you're pulling your blocking hand to your opposite ear. The back of the striking hand should face the ear and your elbow should not move away from the back of the hand of the assisting arm. The target for 등중목 앞치기 is the opponent's philtrum. The elbow of the striking arm should not move outward. Be careful not to lose balance due to your upper body swerving front and back, left and right. Cautions for Taeguk Chiljang, second part, taking a closer look. When performing 고드로 바탕손 안맞기, you should block as if you're pulling your elbows towards your body. When performing 고드로 등주목 앞치기, your elbows should not move outward. And be careful not to lose balance due to excessive swerving of your upper body. We will now practice the moves of Taeguk Chiljang, second part, in succession while watching the video. The key moves of Taeguk Chiljang, third part, consist of 가위막기 and 가위막기, 헤쳐막기, 오른 무릎 오려치기, and 두주목 젖젖 찌르기, 엇걸어 아래막기, 헤쳐막기, 왼 무릎 오려치기, and 두주목 젖젖 찌르기, and 엇걸어 아래막기. 가위막기 is a technique used to block by transferring and distributing force to both arms. The gawimaki and gawimaki performed in succession is the first move of Taegukchiljang third part and should be repeated twice from the same sogi posture respectively. When first performing gawimaki from wen apgubi, perform oren aremaki and wen anparmok bakalmaki. Then, complete the wen apgubi gawimaki by following it with wen aremaki and oren anparmok bakalmaki in succession. Next, set your foot with oren apgubi, perform wen aremaki and oren anparmok bakalmaki, and complete oren apgubi gawimaki by performing oren aremaki and wen anparmok bakalmaki. We will now connect the gawimaki moves. Dujumok chocho jirugi. This move is used to hold and pull an opponent's neck or head and attack an opponent's face or torso with your knee at the same time. First, open your hands so they face each other, then pull them down. It is more effective if you pull your fists down to the ankle of the kicking foot. When you hold and pull an opponent down, you can exert more force if you pull your wrists downward. The pulling down of your opponent and murupchigi should be performed simultaneously. When initiating the preparatory moves for okuro aremaki from the right side, make a diagonal loop by moving the right wrist up and left wrist down. When initiating from the left side, do the opposite and make a diagonal loop by moving the left wrist up and right wrist down. Both wrists should be placed in front of the lower abdomen, and both elbows should be tightened inward. Cautions for Taegukchiljang, third part, taking a closer look. Be careful not to move the upper body excessively when performing gawimaki in succession. When performing murupchigi, do not pull while the back of your hands are facing upward. During okuro aremaki, do not straighten your elbow or let your armpit detach from your body. We will now practice the moves of Taegukchiljang, third part, in succession while watching the video. The key moves of Taegukchiljang, fourth part, consist of wen dungjumok bakatchigi, oren pyojokchagi, and oren palgumchi pyojokchigi. Oren dungjumok bakatchigi, wen pyojokchagi, and wen palgumchi pyojokchigi, wen yopmaki, and oren yopjirugi. In order to connect the last move of Taegukchiljang third part that you just learned, wen apgubi okuro aremaki, to the first move of Taegukchiljang fourth part, wen dungjumok bakatchigi, the preparatory move must be performed first by crossing the left arm over the right arm so it is placed on the right shoulder. Then perform dungjumok bakatchigi at shoulder height by utilizing the spin of the torso. The elbow should straighten naturally, and be careful not to let the back of the fist move away from the end of your shoulder line. Pyojokchagi is a technique used to kick a target with the back of the foot blade. During palgumchi pyojokchigi, the target must not wrap around the elbow. It is important to perform pyojokchagi and pyojokchigi in succession. This is how you connect pyojokchigi and dungjumok bakatchigi. Raise your posture by straightening the knees from the juchumsogi position. Change direction by moving and setting the right foot at the same time. Then perform dungjumok bakatchigi using the spin of the torso. The right foot transitions to apsogi, and the left foot is pulled slightly as your center moves forward. Cautions for Taegukchiljang fourth part, taking a closer look. Be careful not to bend the elbow when performing Dungjumok Bakatchigi. The target is the palm of the hand when performing Pyojokchigi. Be careful not to let the target move. We will now practice the moves of Taeguk Chiljang fourth part in succession while watching the video. This concludes the training for Taeguk Chiljang. We will take another look at all the moves and master Pumse. We have looked at the key moves of Taeguk Chiljang and provided thorough explanations for each move and things to watch out for. You will be able to learn much better postures and techniques if you continue training with the spirit and firmness that symbolize Taeguk Chiljang. We will see you again in the Taeguk Paljang video. Thanks for watching. Taeguk Paljang is also a Pumse that summarizes the basics and represents mature techniques of Taekwondo. When moving on from an initiate to becoming a belt holder. We will now take a look at the Pumse of Taeguk Paljang. Taeguk Paljang consists of 6 key moves, namely 두발 당성차기, 고드로 바깥막기, 외선 들막기, 당겨치르기, 고드로 아래막기, and 뛰어 앞차기. We will now take a closer look at each of the key moves of Taeguk Paljang. 두발 당성차기 is a kicking technique where you jump and perform 2 mid-air kicks in succession. The first 발차기 lightly kicks a target at the torso level, and the second 발차기 kicks a target higher with the other foot. 고드로 바깥막기 is a technique to block with your hands with help from the assisting hand. The fist blocking the torso should be placed at the solar plexus level, while assisting hand is placed level with the blocking elbow. Be careful not to let the blocking hand move outside the outer line of the body. Do not let the assisting armpit detach from the body. Waesan Durmaki is a technique where your arms are crossed in front of your chest. The inner arm blocks the lower body, and the outer arm performs 얼굴 안팔목 바깥막기. The wrist of the arm performing 안팔목 얼굴 바깥막기 should be level with the philtrum, while the arm performing 아래막기 should be about 2 raised fists apart from your adjacent leg. The elbow of the arm performing 안팔목 얼굴 바깥막기 should face downward. The eyes should point in the direction of the arm performing 아래 바깥막기. 당겨지르기 is a technique used mostly to strike the chin by pulling an opponent's clothing. The jirugi starts at the chest line with the fist pulled back. The fist performing jirugi passes by the wrist being pulled back and reaches the target. Be careful not to let the hammer fist touch the front of the shoulder performing jirugi. Also, be careful not to let the fist start at the back and perform jirugi upward, like chijirugi. When performing godoro aremaki, the blocking hand should maintain a space of 2 raised fists above the knee set forward. The assisting hand should be level with the elbow that performs aremaki. Dio apchagi is a technique used to jump and perform apchagi mid-air. The kick must complete at the peak of your jump. These are the 6 key moves of Taeguk Paljang. We will now look at the moves in succession connecting each move. The key moves of Taeguk Paljang, first part, consist of wen godoro 바깥막기, 오른 지르기, 두발 당성차기, and wen 안막기, and double jirugi, and 오른 jirugi. When connecting from the first move, wen godoro 바깥막기 to 몸통 jirugi, you must perform the preparatory move of pulling the right fist back. After the first kick of 두발 당성차기, bend your kicking leg, then continue with the next 발차기. Prepare for the wen anmaki once your right foot touches the ground. Quickly connect with wen anmaki and double jirugi the moment your left foot touches the ground. Cautions for Taeguk Paljang, first part. Taking a closer look. Shout the moment you perform the second 발차기 during 두발 당성차기. Do not pull your right fist back and perform jirugi when connecting from wen godoro 바깥막기 to 몸통 jirugi. We will now practice the moves of Taeguk Paljang, first part, in succession while watching the video. The key moves of Taeguk Paljang, second part, consist of Waesan Durmaki, 오른 당겨 지르기, Waesan Durmaki, wen 당겨 지르기, 왼손 날맞기, 오른 지르기, 오른 앞차기, and 오른 바탕손 안맞기. The first performing jirugi should face upward, and placed between your solar plexus and chest line. Then pulling arm should be free from unnecessary force and placed level with the shoulder line. Twist your torso and pull your arm. Then slowly perform Dangyo Jirugi by exerting force. Shift your weight to your right foot. Then pass your left foot in front of your right foot to assume the Apgoa Sogi posture. When connecting to Wen Sonna Godoramaki. After performing Dangyo Jirugi, shift your weight to your left foot. Spin your body 90 degrees counterclockwise, then pull your right foot backwards. After performing Oren Apchagi, return the kicking leg to where it was before the kick, like you're reclaiming it. Then, set your left foot one step backward. Immediately pull your right foot towards your left foot, then perform Oren Bomsogi and Oren Batangson Anmaki. Cautions for Taeguk Paljang, second part, taking a closer look. When performing Wesantul Maki, your feet should stand diagonal to Pumse's progress line. Be careful not to disconnect the moves that connect Apchagi to Mullodidyo Patangson Anmaki. We will now practice the moves of Taeguk Paljang, second part, in succession while watching the video. The key moves of Taeguk Paljang, third part, consist of Wen Sonna Godoromaki, Wen Apchagi and Oren Jirugi, Wen Patangson Anmaki, Oren Sonna Godoromaki, Oren Apchagi and Wen Jirugi, and Oren Patangson Anmaki. Perform Anchagi and Jirugi in succession. Move the body center back transition to Bomsogi, then perform Anmaki. Slowly repeat after me. Shift your weight to your front leg, and at the same time spin your torso clockwise using your left ball. Then perform the preparatory Oren Sonna Godoromaki move. Complete the Sonna Godoromaki move by spinning and setting the left foot in the direction of progression. Cautions for Taeguk Paljang, third part, taking a closer look. When spinning and setting your foot from the Wen Bomsogi to Oren Bomsogi, do not overset your right foot and spin your torso with your fixed left foot. Such turns stiffen the body and can cause injury to the knees. You must understand the organic relationship between moving the center of the body and spinning the torso when performing Dikki and Dora Dikki. We will now practice the moves of Taeguk Paljang, third part, in succession while watching the video. The key moves of Taeguk Paljang, fourth part, consist of Godoro Are Maki, Wen Apchagi, Oren Dio Apchagi, Oren Anmaki, Double Jirugi, Wen Sonar Pakat Maki, Oren Palkumchi Dolyochigi, Oren Tungju-mok Apchigi, Wen Jirugi, Oren Sonar Pakat Maki, Wen Palkumchi Dolyochigi, Wen Tungju-mok Apchigi, and Oren Jirugi. After Wen Apchagi, bend your knee, jump with your right leg, and continue with the 오른 뛰어 앞차기. Shout at the same time while performing 오른 뛰어 앞차기. Land after performing 뛰어 앞차기. Then naturally connect to 안맞기 and double 지르기. Open your chest while performing 팔꿈치 돌려치기. Then target the area slightly above the shoulder. Turn the torso that twisted during 팔꿈치 돌려치기 to the opposite direction and continue with 등주먹 앞치기. Then use the movement of the pelvis to complete the move with 지르기. Concentrate on the organic movement of the three moves. Cautions for 태극 팔장, fourth part, taking a closer look. When performing 뛰어 앞차기, be careful not to perform 앞차기 by relying on the rebound from the front kicking foot moving up and down. We will now practice the moves of 태극 팔장, fourth part, in succession while watching the video. This concludes training for 태극 팔장. The only thing remaining is to become a belt holder. We will take another look at all the moves and master 품새. We have looked at the key moves of 태극 팔장 and provided thorough explanations for each move and things to watch out for. As you are now on the verge of becoming a belt holder, continue with devotion and the proper mindset to better grasp the postures and techniques. We will see you again in the choreo video. Thanks for watching.